Welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Tiffany, aka Black XS Rose. On here we talk about all things astrology, the power of your subconscious mind, occult, spirituality, and a lot more. I'll be discussing the importance of the moon today. I will be getting into its significance, why it's important to know your moon sign and the house that your moon sign is in, what it can show us, what it can teach us. I also want to touch on the shadow, the dark side of the moon, as well, the dark aspects of the moon, because I don't really hear a lot about that. I like to see the light and the dark aspects of each planet. That's really important to me, because we don't live in a linear, one-dimensional, perfect world, so I like to see the light and the dark aspects of each planet. I'm doing a kind of comfy Cancerian mood, Cancerian setting, because well, the moon rules over the zodiac sign Cancer, you know, the crab, Cancer. So Cancer is a water sign. It is known for being a water sign that is very emotional, caring. It is known for having feminine energy. A lot of the water signs are described as feminine, especially Pisces and Cancer. Those two. Scorpio, not so much, not as much as Cancer and Pisces, just because of that Mars. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars, so the Mars has a bit of fire to it, and because of that fire, Scorpio is sometimes has a bit of a masculine edge to it. Even though it has feminine as well, but it also has masculine. Now, Pisces and Cancer, on the other hand, very feminine. So when you come across even men that are Pisces and Cancer, some of these men can be very artistic. Prince is an example. Prince was a Pisces, right? The singer, Prince, the soul R&B singer. He was very feminine, very artistic and creative. Pisces men can also be very spiritual. And with Cancer men can be great chefs, great cooks, great fathers if they are healthy Cancerian men. They can be very loving and caring and be a positive role model in the family. People tend to associate Cancerian energy and the moon strictly only with females. However, there is masculine and feminine energy within everybody, and even men have feminine energy. It's just society and culturally and institutionally, people try to suppress that a bit. They say if you're a boy, you're supposed to do certain things, you're supposed to act and behave a certain way. There were certain kind of norms that families and institutions would set in place for boys so that they can assume a certain identity. I think that these days things have gotten a bit better when it comes to letting people just be balanced in terms of emotions. Now, not everywhere is perfect, but I've noticed positive changes, like in accepting like the two sides to people, like the masculine side of women. Like women these days have careers, they can be in parliament, they can become president, you know, stuff like that. Whereas in the past, the women, you know, we're more restricted to family, staying home, and domestic duties. So there's been a kind of balance between the genders. I find there's been a bit of a balance, and that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. We probably will be seeing more of that, but it really depends on the individual at the same time. What else is the moon associated with? The moon is a nurturer. The moon is the caretaker, the nanny, the mother, the wife, the loving, caring person. It's like, that's what it's associated with. It is connected to our intuition, our deep feelings, deep emotions, our senses. It is connected to our mind. The energies and the emotions that we feel, like intuitively feel, or the emotions that we feel on a personal, private level, is that's connected to the moon. And a lot of the times, emotions, are things we only reserve for people that are close to us. Many people are like this, but certain moon placements, maybe like a moon in Gemini that can openly share, openly express, it might not matter. Like, they will share how they feel, but if it's like a water sign moon, or even some like an earth sign moon, it might be more kind of restricting their emotions. So when it comes to emotions, a lot of the times we see that there's certain things that people will not share out in the open. There's certain things, emotions, that people feel sometimes is an inconvenience, sometimes feel is just getting in the way of things, or feel that emotions might interfere, cause more harm than good. So some people just keep to themselves. Others find that when they can share their emotions, they can get over things easier. They feel a relief, a weight off of their shoulders if they can share certain emotions with others. They can resolve conflicts after sharing their emotions. Some people see the benefits of emotions, and some people see the negative sides to sharing emotions. So it really depends on the individual, and like I said, what's their placement, what astrology sign is connected to their moon sign. That is extremely important to know, because the more you know about your full zodiac chart, the better. And you will understand why you are having certain feelings, why you get triggered by certain things, why you have emotional outbursts for certain reasons, even connected to your childhood. Because like I said, the moon is connected to the mother and nurturing, rearing children. So it's connected to your childhood a bit, and what you experienced. So memories as well. Because Cancers can be very nostalgic. That's why I'm all with the nostalgic shenanigans right now. Like, Cancers can be very nostalgic and all that. Certain things that people have experienced as children actually can greatly impact them as an adult. It can significantly impact them as an adult. Sometimes, if they had a certain issue when they were a kid and they didn't resolve that issue, or it pops up again in adulthood, they need to work on resolving that issue. Otherwise, it's going to cause emotional damage again. The moon is connected to your emotional intelligence. How emotionally intelligent are you? Are you able to put yourself in someone else's shoes? The water signs can do that. Water signs can put themselves in other person's shoes, because water flows. Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was like, what did he say again? He said, open your mind, be formless and shapeless like water. When you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. When you put water into a jar, it becomes a jar. So you be like water. You can put yourself, shapeshift, put yourself into someone else's shoes. So with moon energy, Cancerian energy, the moon sign, with the moon, it can help you see from different perspectives, because that's what being emotionally intelligent is sometimes, like seeing from different perspectives, understanding your own emotions, processing those emotions, learning how to get through them, heal them, even ancestral trauma, ancestral emotions, that's something that many people need to heal. They don't realize it. They don't realize that the impact it's had. It's so deep, it's so painful, it's so internalized and passed down through the genetics, and people don't want to talk about it because it's very taboo. It's very it's not a positive subject and topic, but it is important to know that it is a real thing. And people aren't perfect. Many of our ancestors weren't perfect. Some ancestors were rapists. Some ancestors were mafia bosses. They were doing like murderers. They were like doing all kinds of diabolical things. When it comes to emotions, memories, and all that, you need to do clearing, you need to do cleansing, healing rituals, or healing, make healing a part of your routine, especially if you have lots of ancestral trauma or emotional things that have happened to you in the past, just like emotional abuse or something that you've experienced in the past. You need to really focus on healing that energy, clearing up that dark energy within you. That doesn't mean you're gonna be 100% perfect 24/7, but it will kind of help you get better, be healthier. It might not solve everything, but it can help you just continue with life in a more brighter setting. It's the worst times of the year for females. What time is that? It's Aunt Flo's time. Aunt Flo is here, honey. She has arrived at your doorstep. She's ready to come in, and she will be staying for how long as she wants to, right? So Aunt Flo, the reproductive system. Yes, the moon is connected to the reproductive organs, or it's connected to the reproductive system in females. The moon is all about the cycles of the moon, so the menstrual cycle. And like I said, the moon is connected to women and female, feminine energy and all that. Goddesses, we have many moon goddesses out there. So yes, the reproductive system. And basically, as I was mentioning the tides, and I was mentioning the cycles, there's the ebb and flow of tides from the water, and then the moon cycles. And that's also connected to the cycles of women, because like I mentioned before, the moon is connected to childbirth and motherly nature, feminine nature, so rearing children, nurturing children, and all that. So in order for someone to have a child, they have to be fertile. They have to be fertile. They have to be fertile, and they have to have a somewhat regular cycle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but they have to have a menstrual cycle in order for them to have a child. That is the first step. The womb is like the portal. It is the portal, it is the gateway into Earth, into this dimension. And the yoni, the portal, this womb, this yoni, this is very important, because without it, there is no one. All animals and creatures here have their way of entering and through a portal to get here. And through this portal, through this gateway, this womb, our mother's womb, we absorb things from our mother. We absorb certain traits and qualities from our mother. So the mother is very important. The mother figure is very important. She passes down things, not just genetics, she passes down like certain traits to her children. So yes, it's important to know about your family history. Your DNA is connected to your ancestors. Blood is energy, blood is life. And with this blood, you have access to your ancestors through the DNA, through your DNA from both parents. You have access to your ancestors. But you have your mother's blood in you as well, because you were born in her womb. Not everyone has a mother figure growing up in their life, so not everyone is going to have a positive relationship with their mother or feel a connection to their mother. Sometimes people feel more connected to the father, but mother is important because Earth is said to be a feminine. It's a feminine planet. Gaia, Earth is Gaia, so Earth is feminine. There is a big debate about how the moon got here. I mean, people have all kinds of opinions. I've heard a wide variety of opinions. I've heard like the stereotypical textbook opinion, you know, I've heard from people that are more out there. I've researched about the extraterrestrial connection to the moon and how the moon was supposedly brought in and wasn't always there, so it was brought in by certain extraterrestrial beings. And this moon, when it was brought near to the earth, it was like a satellite and stuff, but it was used to impact and shift things a bit with earth. So who brought this, you know, that's all up for debate. Everyone has their opinion, but I find it interesting. The moon controls days and months. It is connected to the secret hidden side of you, your undisclosed emotions, your undisclosed feelings that you might have difficulty expressing. You can only express that to people that you are really deeply connected with and you feel safe with them. It is connected to your intuition, your psyche, your sixth senses sometimes, like how you feel. Like, you know, some people, they can go into the room, they can go into certain rooms, certain environments and places, and they can feel the atmosphere just through their intuition. So the moon is connected with that. The symbol of the moon is the crescent. The symbol of the moon is a crescent. And the element associated with the moon is also silver. Now, when it comes to the placement, like Cancerian placement on the body, on the human body, that would be the breasts. Breasts are used to feed and nurture babies, also connecting to the whole nurturing childhood motherly role, you know. So the placement on the body for Cancer is the breasts. People, they say, oh, Cancerians, you know, their chest area looks good, whether they're a guy or whether they're female, you know, I don't know if that's true, but that's supposed to be a nice trait that they have. The moon, interestingly enough, is also connected to our subconscious. And, you know, like I stated in previous videos, I make subliminals. I found them to be one of the most effective methods of manifesting. I started out making subliminals mainly for myself before just getting into the whole YouTube thing, you know. It's one of the most effective ways to manifest, in my opinion, because the subconscious is extremely powerful, and advertisers know this, you know. Certain media know this, the power of your subconscious. And I went to university, I studied media and communications, so I know. I graduated, I got my degree in media and communications, and you know, during my years at university, I definitely learned about the importance of the subconscious, whether that was outwardly discussed or not. Like, it's part of advertising, it's part of marketing, and tailoring products to certain groups of people, certain individuals. You need to be like a psychologist at the same time, basically. The moon is definitely connected to your subconscious thoughts, your subconscious feelings. So that's why it's extremely important to be aware of what you are internalizing. What are you internalizing? Because sometimes the reason that people have certain emotional issues that they don't know got there, they're like, where did this emotional problem come from? I can't even express, I can't even articulate, like, what is this deep emotional issue that's freaking annoying me? You need to sometimes freaking clean out your subconscious. Like all that shit that you took in when you were a child, telling you weren't good enough, telling you that you're not gonna be able to achieve certain things, this kind of programming, this kind of like, you're never gonna be pretty enough. Like, you're gonna have to fucking clean out that subconscious. It's extremely important because, and a lot of people don't talk about it. They're like, oh, you know, once you get this amount of money, once you And no. You need to clean out you need to deal with those emotions. Sometimes it's deeper. It's deeper, like you can't just put on a band-aid and patch it up with money and material. You need to go through those emotions and deal with them. And that's not an easy thing to do. That's going to take some time. It's going to take a bit of investment in you sorting through that and making sure that you have healthy, positive self-esteem, healthy images and connotations of yourself. You know, that's going to take some time for you to do. Because it doesn't just happen overnight like that. Once you are able to recharge and refocus and steer yourself in the right path, you're going to be able to flow better, flow in a more positive, healthy state. Reframing, recharging your mind, programming your own mind. And sometimes, you know, it's difficult to avoid certain things. You come across certain things, you're like, oh, well, like you can't unsee certain things. So that's what I'm saying. You can't unsee certain things. Once you've seen it, you've seen it. So it's difficult, like especially if you live in a city or something, there's certain things that you can't unsee. Like it will always be a part of you. It will always be in that subconscious. However, what I'm saying is you can remedy it by putting in healthy, positive subconscious affirmations and constantly putting in the positive stuff to steer you into a path that is more healthy, beneficial, and has a more solid, grounded self-esteem. So even all that shit that you experienced in the past, you know, it's there because it's in the subconscious, but we're remedying it with the positive stuff. The positive stuff is key. Positive affirmations are key. I totally understand like where people are coming from on an emotional level when they kind of express how they feel, when they say certain things. I have Cancer in Pisces twice in my chart actually. Those are the main water signs I have in my chart. I don't have any Scorpio really. So I'm actually really happy now. In the past I was like, I'm not sure about these placements, these Cancer and these Pisces placements. I kind of felt like they were not a nuisance, but I didn't really understand the benefits. But now I see, you know, with the intuition, with the emotional intelligence, it can help me out a bit because I have a lot of Capricorn and like I have Capricorn dominant chart, so having a bit of water and a bit of air can just make things flow a bit more and not have things that's rigid. And I like that because I do like art. I like creation and design and all that kind of stuff. So I do like to have a bit of flow in my life and not just structure. A bit of flow is nice too. And so now I see the benefits of the Cancerian and the Pisces energy, as well as my air sign energy. People born at night tend to be connected to the moon more than people that are born in the daytime. So some people, you know, they like to use the moon in healing rituals, healing spells. They like to use the moon in manifesting. A lot of people use like the new moon, full moon to manifest. They see it as a portal, a gateway to achieving what they want. They work with the lunar energy to manifest and achieve what they want. Some people use solar energy and some people use lunar energy to manifest and achieve what they want. These people aren't just like traditional like Wiccans or pagans. No. It can be anyone really, because that's a stereotype, like, oh, that's only what a certain subculture of people do. But honestly, like when it comes to astrology, spirituality and all that, in this day and age, like all kinds of people are into it. Like you'd honestly be surprised how many people are into it. It's like it can be anyone, even like your professor at university, like anyone really. Childbirth and the menstrual cycle. Nurturing, rearing children. Being loving, being kind, providing food for your children. Oh yes, food. Right. So when I think of Cancer, Cancer sometimes reminds me of Taurus because both of these signs know where the good food is at. They know where the good food is at. They can tell you like all the best restaurants in town, where the best spas are. Like they like that TLC, tender loving care, you know, bubble baths, whipped cream, you know, all that kind of comforting stuff, you know, comfort food. They like that vibe of comfort and nice quality materials and all kind of stuff. Like in terms of clothing, like things that feel nice, things that have a silky feel or like a fluffy feel. So food is nutrients and all that. Like I was mentioning earlier, when it comes to the menstrual cycle and the womb, when you're in your mother's womb, when you're a fetus, actually, when you're a fetus in your mother's womb and you're growing and developing, you are absorbing nutrients from your mother. It's up to that mother to be a wise mother and be eating the right foods, taking the right supplements and vitamins and minerals to ensure she has a healthy child. It is extremely important for the development of that child, the future development. And then as that child starts to get older, as that child gets older, that child has to now take in its own nutrients and take in its own supplements and vitamins, minerals, and the cycle continues until that child is now an adult and is going to have a child. And I mean, if it's a female, clearly, if it's a female, not a guy. And then she's going to have a baby, and she needs to make sure she has the right nutrients for that baby, right? It's all a cycle, it's all continuous. And basically, nutrients are extremely important. Nutrients, supplements, supplementing your life, supplementing your way of living. And life is all a balancing act. There's so many things that we try to balance in life. Like we try to, especially women know about the multitasking the most. Not saying guys don't, but you know, women, you know, they have to like see about family, they need to see about the work, their job, they need to see about the groceries, the food a lot of the times. And yes, husbands can interchange with the roles, and yes, husbands can and men can do the feminine duties, but still, you know, there's certain things that women, I'd say, like to have a grasp on, a hold on, and that's just part of being a woman, part of being a female, that, you know, there's some things that we have to do, even like just the beauty routines, the self-care routines as well. Like it's you know, we try to do a lot as females. We also put a lot of pressure on ourselves because of it, because we want to do so much. It's like, oh well, I have to be like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do self-care, I need to go for a run, I need to pick up the kids. You know, it's a lot, and it's a balancing act, and people need to be okay with not being able to do everything, because yes, everything can be accomplished, but don't wear yourself out in the process. You know, don't hurt yourself in the process by trying to be everything and be too much everything. Easier said than done. You know, it's part of women, like I said, the multitasking thing, definitely part of female energy to do that, because that's just how it is for us. You know, we're used to that. We're used to being like taking care of our cousins on the weekends, and then hanging out with our friends, going to the bar with our friends, and then going to brunch, and then going to the spa, you know, stuff like that, going to work, you know. So we do a lot of balancing as women, and we need to be sure that we are taking time to rest in that process, and just have a day of not doing anything and just not seeing anyone, because sometimes that's important to recharge so that we can actually accomplish more. We need to rest so that we can actually keep on doing what we need to do. What are some moon goddesses out there? Diana is one, and Hecate is another one. Hecate, and a lot of women like to work with lunar energy, when it comes to certain spells, rituals, manifesting. They see the benefits of working with the lunar energy for whether it's like a career kind of thing, like a job thing, or they want to obtain certain things in their career, whether it's to do with love, family, manifesting a certain amount of money, manifesting a certain type of lifestyle or a new lifestyle, a change of lifestyle. So they will work with the lunar energy. This cycles the moon, new moon, full moon, and they will work with the lunar energy to achieve certain things in life and switch certain things around, certain cycles around in their life. The moon is also connected to money, dinero. It's connected to finance and fiat, because when I was talking about the ebbs and flows of the water, the ebbs and flows, we were talking about money flow as well, cash flow. Cash flow is connected to the moon because a lot of people use, like I said, lunar energy to manifest money, to manifest a new job and all that. It's like you're working with the energy and the push and pull, like the flow of things, and money flows, you know, money flows. People that are into spirituality, people that are into the law of attraction know about this. They know about like the 2-cup method, you know, with the water and all that. And Cancer, like I said, it's a water sign. Water, Bruce Lee, you know, water is energy as well. Water and flow is energy. Money flow is energy. Money is energy. It's not just money. It's not just money. It's not just crypto. It's not just, you know, it's not just like a house. It's not just an investment. Like, it's not just an investment. It's not just property. It's not just heirloom stuff. It's not just antiques. It's energy. It's energy. So if you want a certain thing, and you're going to place emphasis and energy on that, on obtaining it and achieving it, and you can mold and switch things around, switch the cycle around so that you can benefit off of this energy, benefit off of this thing. It's all energy. You're working with energy there. It's energy work on a spiritual sense, on a spiritual level. We have the name for it in the third dimension. Crypto, we have property, real estate, lands, antiques, designer, heirloom products. So we have titles and names to categorize it, but there's an energy behind it. There's a flow and an energy behind it. We have the Saturn structure name for it, and then we have the energy and flow around it, because money is all energy. Finance and all that is all energy. Everybody puts energy into money. Everyone puts energy into crypto, into real estate. Many people are putting their energy into it. That's why we are manifesting it around us. Because it's not just one person. It's like saying, oh my God, why is this person famous? Why is this person famous? Oh my God, like, why do people like this? Because many people have collectively saw the talent or the abilities, the talents and abilities in that person. More than one person. That's why they are promoted. That's why they're famous. So when it comes to certain things, why is there this cryptos? Because with ebbs and flows of things, you know, especially with money and banking, ebbs and flows, people have created and have been manifesting their own versions. And that's why crypto came about, because it stemmed from the whole kind of money banking, but it was a new and developed manifested version of it. A version that people wanted to, because they found faults with the old version. They found faults and stuff with the old version, so they wanted to create a new version and put out a whole different set of rules. So that's what I mean by it's all energy. It's like the ebb and flow. It is manifesting using alchemy. Alchemy. I was looking for that word, alchemy. Alchemy is basically taking one thing and transforming it into another, turning water into wine, turning wine into gold. You know, it is all about taking something and changing it into something else. everyone has their idea of what they find valuable. Everyone has their own perceptions on things. Like I said, some people like to invest in designer clothing, you know, like so they can resell it. Some people will invest in crypto, some people will do real estate, some people, you know, like everyone has their thing. Some people will take an old thing and refurbish it, like it could be furniture, antique furniture, whatever, and they'll refurbish it and it will sell for a lot of money. Like there's all kinds of ways, there's all ebbs and flows and different ways of making money and doing things, and people place value on certain items and certain things. It all depends on the individual, really. Yeah, but the moon is actually, it's also connected to your family fortune. So what kind of circumstance and family you're born into, the amount of assets your family has, the moon is connected with that, because like I was stating earlier, it's connected to your mother. The moon is connected to your mother, but it's also connected to your ebb and flow of money as well. So yeah, when it comes to your family inheritance and stuff like that, that's connected to your moon, or the circumstance in which you're born in, like the financial circumstances, the financial status of your family, like that's connected to the moon as well. I was extremely surprised to find out that America, the USA, is a Cancerian nation. That creeped the hell out of me and shocked me, and I just can't believe it. Like, something about America to me, no, I'm not American, by the way, I'm Canadian. Something about America to me just, it doesn't seem very Cancerian, because I find that when it comes to America nurturing and encouraging its citizens, it doesn't really do that like it used to in the past. Like, it's not really, in some ways it can, but I feel like it has its cracks, it has its flaws, and every nation and every country clearly has its cracks and its flaws. But I feel like, I don't know, there's some negative aspects. There's definitely some negative Cancerian aspects. It's because there's too much, there's a lot going on there, and I've met so many Americans. I've been to America, I've lived in America actually, and I've had great friendships there, family, friends in America that I still talk to this day. But when I take into account the whole country, you know, it's not perfect. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not perfect, and I'm kind of you know, the nation itself, America itself, was built upon murdering people, like indigenous peoples. Like, the modern day America would not be the modern day America without the destruction of the native indigenous peoples and doing certain things. The moon also has a dark side, and that is basically the black moon Lilith. The black moon Lilith. The dark side of the moon, and I'm looking forward to this because I love talking about shadow sides of life. When it comes to anything, the darkness can teach you more than the light. I truly believe in that. Honestly, like, it's the villains in movies that can teach us the most. Like, compared to the hero, like, the villains in movies can teach us the most. The anti-hero can teach us more than the squeaky clean hero. So the dark side of the moon can teach you a lot. That's why when I was talking about America and its Cancerian energy, I'm kind of confused by that, because I find, like, yes, America has that energy of, like, they can encourage citizens, like a mother, they can encourage citizens to be the best of the best, to be healthy, to be this, that, to be great, outstanding people and role models. And at the same time, there's a dark side to that energy, and we see it all the time in America. Thankfully, when I was in America, I've had positive experiences, and even when I go back, I've had positive experiences, and I'm extremely grateful for that. Even, like, the relationships with Americans have always been amazing, even to this day. But I can't just sit around and pretend like shit hasn't happened in America. You know, like what America's built upon, like the energy of America, like it's a dark history, and even to this day there's still shit going on there. And basically I'm kind of confused. I'm like, by that whole Cancerian thing, because I'm trying to put it into words, like how I feel. I'm trying to put into words about how I feel, and I think my moon placement really doesn't want me to share it. I honestly feel like my moon placement, it's making it really difficult for me to I can't find the words to describe it right now. This is really weird. I'm trying to, oh my god. My moon placement is something else. But how should I describe America? Maybe my moon placement is like, don't say it in a negative way, don't say it in a harsh way. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to find, like, it's there, I know it in my head, but okay. Like, I find that it's not as nurturing and as caring as it seems, as America seems. Like, people used to say back in the day, like everyone wanted to go to America. Even now, like, yes, America has so many great schools, universities, so many great companies to work for and all that, but I think in this day and age, people are realizing that the world is bigger. People are realizing that you don't just have to go to America. Like, it's not just the be all and end all. I think in the past it was, like, a lot of people from certain countries, from Europe, from South America, people from the Caribbean would go to America to make a living, a better living than in their native country. And you know, America was seen as a land of opportunity. This is helping me just articulate. I have to get into the history of it, because I can't just say it without giving reference to the history. So America used to be a land of opportunity, a land of it still is in many ways, but cracks have been forming. Cracks have been forming now for a very long time. And basically with America, it's almost like the dark sides, which have always been around, by the way, are just rearing their ugly head more and more and more and more and more. And this is in the age of Aquarius, so it's supposed to happen. You know, if you understand the timelines and the shifts that have been taking place, then it's justifiable, it's understandable. But at the same time, it's kind of like, whoa, you know, it's kind of like, because like I stated, a lot of countries, even to this day, really look up to America. Like, I look up to America in so many ways. I still do. Even with America's flaws, I look up to America, honestly. Like, because of its pop culture and all that, every country loves American pop culture. Yes, there's flaws, there's cracks in that, but a lot of people take so much inspiration from it. The music, the movies, the TV, you know, because America's a melting pot, different people, so it shows you different kinds of people, different ways of life, and it sets trends. America sets trends and all that. But what I'm confused with is the whole Cancerian energy, because when it comes to nurturing citizens, taking care of citizens, making sure citizens are okay, I feel like in America, if you don't have a certain amount of money, when it comes to healthcare, you might be a bit limited in some ways. Not saying that you can't, like, get treatment and all that, but I've heard of circumstances and situations where people in America, if they don't have a certain amount of money, they can't afford certain healthcare and all that. So yeah, I mean, that's what I mean, but I'm kind of confused by that Cancerian energy. I'm like, how is America caring for its citizens, nurturing its citizens? And yes, there is no perfect country, no perfect nation out there. You sometimes as adults, as people, we can't depend on others. Sometimes we need to depend on ourselves and to take care of ourselves. You know, we can't always look for handouts from people, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's kind of confusing me a bit. It really is confusing me, because I'm like, the nurturing, the taking care. Okay, let me think about back in the day in America, before colonial times in America. Okay, before colonial times in America with the native indigenous peoples. The native indigenous peoples were very caring and nurturing of each other. Before any outsiders came in, yes, they might have had fights and all that between the different tribes, but in general, I'm talking about in general, the native indigenous peoples of America, who were copper brown and red skin, some of them were dark and some of them were Asiatic, but some of them looked dark. They had even a darker complexion to me. So yes, some of the black people in America are actually native, if you didn't know, because I know in history they don't teach that. But the natives in America were actually, they were very caring of each other. America was brown to begin with, you know, before anyone else was there. That's what it originally was. And the native indigenous people of the Americas, North and South America, when it came to family and all that within their tribe, they would usually be caring of each other. Each person in the tribe had their role, and whether it was the hunter-gatherer, the craftsman creating crafts and furniture, and then the hunter-gatherer, then the mother looking after the children, cooking, feeding the family, feeding the grandmothers, feeding the children, and all that. So yeah, I mean, maybe from a historical standpoint, America is about that nurturing, caring energy, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it has a dark side of that Cancerian energy for sure. It really has a dark side of that, like whether it's intentional, whether it's not intentional, and it's really unfortunate. But I feel like because people in America have been through a lot. Throughout the generations, even to this day, they've been through a lot. People there are subjugated to specific things, and it's unfortunate, but I know that Americans are strong. American people are very strong, and they will be able to get through it. So let's talk about the dark side again. Like I mentioned, not everyone has a connection to their mother. Some people don't have a connection to their father, but some people also don't have a connection to their mother. So they have difficulties growing up in life sometimes with females based off of past or no relationship with their mother at all. Sometimes it's hard for them to, when it comes to dating, you know, when they get older. When they were a child, you know, the mother wasn't around, the mother didn't give them that nurturing, that energy. So there's a gap in there. There's a void in there. They might have had a mother that was very abusive. That's another thing. If they had an abusive mother, a mother that was negative all the time, constantly criticizing them, when they get out into the world and they encounter other women and all that, they might have issues. They might be completely revolted by women. It's like saying, oh my goodness, I hate women are all bad, or saying like, oh my god, I hate men, all men are bad, you know, when in fact there's good and bad in each gender. In all the genders, there's good and bad people. Just like within every race group, every race, there's good and bad within every race group. The dark side of Lilith is not caring. It doesn't give a shit. It basically will nitpick at you as a mother. It will like point out all your flaws. It will emotionally manipulate you. That's something that a negative Cancer can do. They can use emotions against you. They can basically find your weak spot, your weak points, make you crack and break you down emotionally, because they want to hurt you emotionally. It's like psychological and emotionally, so they want to hurt you. They will find something, they'll try to make you emotional about it and make you break down, like it's trying to break you down, right? what they do, what are they doing in the interrogation room, you know, in those movies? They're trying to break down the suspect, the person that's coming for questioning. So they'll do whatever they have to do to break you down, right? Some people are very good at maintaining and controlling their emotions. Some people, they've trained themselves, they've been through a lot, they've reached a certain level to where they can compose and control their emotions. They've learned to do that, or they were born able to do that. Some people are born without emotions. They're more psychopathic. We live in a multiverse of all kinds of people, right? And there's people that don't really need to express emotions to like say how they feel, or they just feel like they don't need to share emotions. There's people that see emotions as a nuisance, and then there's people that love sharing their emotions, love sharing how they feel in the moment, like maybe a Gemini moon or a Aries moon, a Leo moon, Sagittarius moon. Oh my goodness. So the moon is in dignity with Cancer, and it's in detriment with Capricorn. So Capricorn moons have a difficult time expressing their feelings, their deep emotional wants and needs. They have a difficult time expressing themselves emotionally with others. This is like comforting to me. This is candied pecans or pralines. You know, if you're a Creole, whether you're Caribbean Creole or American Creole, you'll know about pralines. I love candied nuts, like pecans, peanuts, and I do a lot of cooking myself because, like I said, I just like cooking, but I think that comes from the Cancer placements in my chart. But yeah, Creoles know about pralines for sure. And they also know about comfort foods, like mac and cheese. They know about sweet potato pie and all that. Like, I love making stuff like that. I actually have the recipe. I have another channel where I do cooking videos and all that, and I have my sweet potato pie recipe on there. And I like to add real vanilla, like high quality ingredients to many of the things that I'm making, unless it's kind of like junk food, but usually I like to add high quality ingredients. I even added real vanilla to these candied pecans, and cinnamon and caramel extract and all that. Yeah, really nice. So yeah, Cancer and the moon is all about like comfort and comfort food, nurturing the mother. What relationship did you have with your mother? Did you have a healthy relationship with her? No relationship? Questionable relationship? You know, what sort of nurturing and upbringing did you have? Because sometimes when people act the way they do or do the things they do, it stems from their childhood a bit. So certain issues or certain things, like how they were raised, how they were brought up. And like I said, children have many mothers. It's not just their maternal mother. It's not just their maternal mother. They have different mothers, like their teacher. Because think about it, the amounts of hours you spend in school as a child. You know, a lot of parents, when they're working and all that, they send their kids to daycare and all that, or a nanny, or someone to look after the kids. So children have many mothers, many people. Even when I was a child, like, my grandmother was my mother for some time, for a certain period. Not entirely, but she took over. So we have many mothers. Some people have, not just grandmothers, some people have like family friends that will take on the role as mother and stuff like that. So yeah, La Luna, the moon, is connected to days and months of the week. It is also connected to how you receive money. It's connected to domestication, fertility, the wife. It is connected to female figures, connected a little bit with Venus. How you get possessions and money is also connected to the moon. Like I was saying, the ebb and flow, the tide. Each person has their ways of getting and receiving things, their own skills, their own talents, and their own abilities to get and receive what they want. Every individual, every creature here has their method of achieving what they want. Artemis is another goddess that represents the moon, and Diana and all that. Artemis is kind of like Katniss from the Hunger Games, you know, or she's interchangeable with many beings and many things. But I forgot to mention actually that the moon is associated or referenced in many supernatural movies, in many occultic kind of movies or books, like novels, fantasy novels. Like they always mention and reference the moon. Why is that important? Well, because of the symbology and the spiritual meaning of the moon. That's why, I mean, the moon for centuries, for generations upon generations, has been a staple, has been used as an example to teach people things. It's basically like the cycles of life, you know, because the moon goes through cycles, so it's used to teach us about the cycles of life. Like I said, it's connected to the months and days of the year, and so it can teach us about cycles. Each month we have a different season, a different cycle, so we have all, you know, well, it depends where you live in the world, but usually, you know, there's like summer, winter, fall, spring, and all that. So it's all about the cycles of life. And so ancient people understood the spiritual significance of the moon and all that. That's why it's so important. And that's why it seeps into the pop culture, because pop culture takes reference from things of the past. So pop culture takes a reference, like if you know, Romeo and Juliet, certain movies take reference from books, which takes reference from ancient culture, their fantasy stories or their folklore stories. So things take inspiration from other things, right, along the time periods with Saturn. So yes, in a lot of movies, TV shows, books and novels and poetry, they reference the moon, and the moon is always seen as something that's gentle, something that's caring, inward reflection as well, inward reflection and feeling sometimes. A little bit more on the introverted spectrum, I would say. The sun is bright, you know, the sun is bright and in your face. You know, when you walk out in the daytime, it's like the sun is like blaring in your face, like, hi, how are you? The moon is kind of like, when you go out in the nighttime and you see the moon is just there like, hello, hello, but it's not like in your face. Like, it's a very subtle glow, and it's not piercing your eyes, blinding your eyes. No, it's subtle. The moon is subtle. It's gentle, right? It's gentle, it's subtle. Tonight when I looked outside, the moon was upside down, and I thought that looks really cool. I was feeling compelled to make this video because there was a lot of like, I don't know, I was feeling the energy of the moon a lot, so I had to make it. But yeah, people reference the moon, and rightfully so. I mean, it has a lot of impact and influence on things around us. And like I said, even with finance, I know that when I was discussing Saturn and all that, I was talking about the financial part of Saturn. But when I talk about energy and the ebb and flow of things, we can't leave out water, because water is about flow and energy, which is important when it comes to finances. The shadow side of the moon is just, it involves like emotional trauma, pent-up emotions. Like, people need to sometimes figure out how to release built up or pent-up emotions, because if they leave it to build up and build up and build up, it can cause severe damage to their psyche. It can cause severe damage to things around them, to themselves. So they need to find an outlet for healthy release of emotions. Another thing I would like to touch on is the moon and nostalgia, because nostalgia is related to our childhood. So, like I was mentioning earlier, memories, childhood memories, deep nostalgic feelings, memories of the past, especially emotionally triggering memories, basic instinct, reminiscing. That's very much to do with Cancer and the moon. Even like deja vu. I don't know if you can see this, but deja vu. I did my nails and I put deja vu on them with the Gothic letters. But anyway, so kind of remembering things from like a past life, a former life that you had, that is all connected to the moon as well, like reminiscing, traditional things, to do with your ancestry and your heritage, like kind of seeing through the eyes of your ancestors a bit. Is to do with the moon, because the moon is connected to your psyche, and the moon is connected to your reproductive system. It's connected to your maternal mother as well. So yeah, that's really interesting. Like, I find that the moon is also, like, when it comes to reminiscing and when it comes to deja vu and all that, and remembering stuff in a past life, a lot of artists and people, when they are creating their art, when they are creating their stories and all that, they draw upon themes from the past. They actually delve into their past lives. They go through the whole deja vu thing to create art now in the present. So they visit the past, they reminisce on the past, they might go back to certain time periods, and they draw upon elements of those time periods, take some of those elements and create art. They build upon those elements and create art and things from those periods, from that nostalgia and from that deja vu. We see this in so much pop culture. We see this in poetry, books, TV shows, games. We see it in fashion. Fashion is big upon the whole deja vu as well. Fashion and material might be categorized as being third dimensional and all that, but when it comes to creating and manifesting things, you know, like I said, people use the moon to manifest, so, and water is used to manifest as well. So like, when people are creating things in their mind, in their head, they're using their psyche, they're drawing upon past periods of fashion to create fashion now. So yes, everything's connected and interchangeable. Yes, other planets might be involved in the creation process, especially Neptune, because Neptune is very creative, but the moon as well. Like, people work with the energy of all the planets, not just one. Like, it's not just the sun, it's not just Venus, it's not just Mars. Like, people work with different things, different planets, different energies and frequencies. We all draw inspiration from somewhere. And yeah, I think it's interesting. Like, now that I'm more aware of the moon's energy, I can now see like how people use it to create things and to manifest things. I can now understand the kind of time periods they went to, the kind of nostalgia they're into, because everyone's into different types of nostalgia and different time periods as well. Whatever you're feeling inside, like deeply, that's like, or even just who you are in general on the inside, that you don't really share this with a lot of people, maybe just a few people, that is your moon. That's like your true feelings. Because your sun sign, yes, everyone notices your sun eventually, after the rising sign, that solar energy is very blinding. The solar energy is very blinding, and like I said, the moon energy is very subtle. So people can't really see that moon energy unless you really want to make it known to them. Like people that have a Gemini moon, people that have a Sagittarius moon can make their moon actually be heard and be felt because they need that communication. But other people, like maybe a Virgo, like, or something, or like Cancer moon might just be very reserved and closed off at first. With people might be a bit have like a shell over them, you know. So yeah, it's interesting. But just because people don't share that moon sign with you, I mean, it's not everyone is entitled, right? Not everyone is entitled to that, because some people, you know, they might take advantage, or they might not truly see the beauty of it. Actually, that's why a lot of people don't share that moon side to them, because they feel like people don't see value in it, people don't see beauty in it. It's kind of like people not believing in their art, their form of art. They might think, oh, I'm not the best painter, so I'm not going to even try, I'm not going to even bother. But I think it would be beneficial for people to start to realize the beauty of their moon, the talents of their moon, and also what the moon can teach them, you know, about things around them, about nostalgia, about ebb and flow, creation, emotional intelligence, and all that. The moon is connected to your self-care habits and routines. Self-care. I know self-care is like a trending big buzzword. It's been a big kind of buzzword for the past few years. It's like used to sell. It's a thing that's used to sell a lot of products now. It's a word that's used in advertising a lot now for basically everything and anything, right? And self-care is definitely connected to your moon, because your own self-care is tailored to you. You're gonna have different needs at once. You know, people that have a Taurus moon, before self-care was a buzzword, Taurus moons know about self-care before everyone else knew about self-care. Taurus moons, you know, Taurus people like that comfort. They like to feel grounded and stable. They like to have nice experiences in life. Like they like nice food, they like nice ambiance, they like nice fabric and materials, and they like solid connections as well, like long-term kind of relationships. So Taurus people like they can also be a bit stubborn with their moon. They'll be stubborn in terms of maybe expressing their emotions, or one of their emotional traits can be stubbornness. People with Taurus moons can have a stubborn streak. Clearly, you know, it's Taurus, but there's so many positive qualities of Taurus moons. Like, they are very loyal people. Taurus moons, they value loyalty as well, though. So if you aren't showing that loyalty and you're a bit fickle to the Taurus moon, they're gonna kind of be like, I can see through you, you're a fake, you're a waste of time, you don't want to invest in this relationship and all that, because it is an earth sign, so they do like things that are a bit more stable and long lasting, that have some longevity to it. Especially if a Taurus is choosing like clothing or some kind of thing they want to invest in, they want to make sure it's going to last for some amount of time. They like things that are nice quality, and they might not buy everything. They might not buy like the latest fashion and all that. They might invest like in classic items and things that won't go out of style. They might it's all about like the longevity. Sometimes with Taurus, it's all about the, like, because longevity and loyalty, like it's about long-lasting grounding, because it's an earth sign, and that's part of their emotional needs as well. Like, they do like long-lasting friendships. I find with Taurus, they can be the most loyal, long-lasting friends, kind of like with Virgo. The moon is connected to your inner child and inner mother. Every human has the inner child within them. That inner child is connected to your creation. It's connected to your ability to think outside the box and all that. So if you're a creator, you're an artist, you already know about the inner child. I'm sure you've heard it in many lectures. I'm sure you've heard it referenced in many kind of presentations or books and articles and all that. It's very connected to our emotions as well. It's connected to our childhood, so that's why it plays a role with the moon, because it's connected to our childhood and how we were brought up, how we were nurtured and raised, and that is connected to our nostalgia as well. So also our inner mother. What can I say about that? Well, the inner mother, our maternal instincts, that's also within men and women, girls and boys. Like, it's not just a female trait, it's not just tailored towards females. Like, men have it too. Men have loving, caring energy too. Men can be loving and caring when they want to, when they feel like they want to, they will be. You know, it's not tailored to just one gender. And men can be just as loving and caring as women, and vice versa. Women can be strong and capable and successful and focused as men, even in careers. You know, if a female is trying to reach a certain level in her career and all that, or to achieve certain things in life through masculine energy, through Mars and Saturn and all that, she will be determined. She will achieve that. If she believes in herself, she will achieve it without doubt, no matter what. Like, she's not gonna let the emotions get in her way. No. She's not. She can acknowledge those emotions and she can understand those emotions, but she's not gonna let them stop her from achieving what she wants to achieve. There's one more thing that I was about to mention, but I didn't get to it. So I will get to it now. The moon is connected to love, the way you love. No, this isn't totally like Venus and all that. I know I spoke about Venus and love, but the moon is also connected to love as well, because like I was talking about earlier, nurturing and the love that your mother gave to you, the love that the maternal figures, the mother figures in your life gave to you, is important to know about. So when it comes to love and the moon, it's about the love you have for yourself. So self-love, yes, it's connected to self-love. It's also connected to what you want out of love, like what you emotionally want with your relationship, and like what kind of love you want to receive. So it's connected to how you give love to people, like how you express and give love or emotions to people. And it's also connected to what you want to receive in terms of love. So when it comes to relationships, people like to talk about Venus, which definitely plays a role in your love style and your love language. That's what one of the things it symbolizes, is love style, love language. But the moon is the emotional aspect more so. The emotions. And a lot of people like to be emotionally sound or on the same path or connected to their lover. They like to be able to communicate with their lover, but emotionally, everyone has their own emotional needs and wants. Some people don't really need to work off of emotions to thrive and survive in relationships or life in general, and others place value and importance on sharing emotions, saying how they feel, articulating how they feel, speaking it, especially if it's air, fire in the moment fire, expressing like emotions, or just like dishing out how they feel. And other people that are more reserved, maybe some of the more earth moons and some of the water moons, it will take some time to share how they feel. Air and fire might be a bit more. I feel this way, and I'm they're chatty, and I think this, and usually, like, and you'll know how they feel. Like if they're sad, they'll say, I'm sad, I'm upset. Like I'm upset with what you did to me the other day. Like they'll share how they feel in the moment. But then the moon, the water moons and the earth moons, it's kind of like they're gonna take their time a bit. They're gonna be like testing the waters, and they might want to see what it might say something to get an emotional response out of you. So they can be tricky. They can definitely be tricky, because I know I've encountered I've encountered water and earth moons, and I know how they are. They can be tricky for sure, because there's like the hiding the emotion. Especially Scorpio moons can hide the emotions, Capricorn moons hide the emotions, and then you don't really know how they truly feel. Libra, oh, the only exception with the air sign is Libra, because Libras aren't like they aren't like Aquarius, they aren't like Gemini. They're not going to necessarily share how they feel. They might be more like trying to keep the balance and not want to offend and all that, just keep things even, but that definitely can cause issues in terms of communication, and because they're not being really authentic with the partner. So yes, the moon is extremely important when it comes to relationships, because when you first meet someone and you're enamored by their rising sign and how they look and the physicality, and oh, they're so handsome, they're so beautiful, oh, they like the rising sign is also true with like how they come across in terms of social status, or how they come across in terms of like people like around them, the impression they give off, the charm, the impression. But then you meet their sun sign, their personality, their core personality shines through when that rising sign mask wears off. And then as your relationship gets deeper and deeper with this person, you will kind of see how they are emotionally, like whether they're emotional, whether they aren't, what are they like, are they able to understand emotions, process emotions? Do they think emotions are just la-di-da in the way of things, because everyone communicates love differently. For some people, love is just not really important. Emotions aren't important as much as other things. Like some people place value and importance on certain things over others. Some people think love isn't really a thing, or it's not important. Even kind of like with emotions, they think it gets in the way of things. So it really depends on the individual and how they were brought up and what kind of values and principles they have. Emotions and relationships. When it comes to emotions and relationships, that is a touchy subject, obviously, because a lot of people do not like to share emotions in relationships, or they have issues. They are guarded. They're guarded for many reasons, many reasons. It's because of their childhood, maybe something that happened to them in their childhood, so it's connected to their childhood. It's connected to how they were brought up. Maybe they were brought up to treat emotions in a certain way, whether it's the emotions with themselves or the emotions of other people. So love style and love language I definitely associate with the Venus, but emotional language and emotional intelligence is a bit important when it comes to relationships. Mercury and communication is definitely important, very important in relationships. Communication, very important in relationships. Because without that, you're not going to be able to effectively say how you feel. You won't be able to effectively say how you feel. Now, the moon and the emotions. Water signs really understand emotions and all that, but sometimes they can get wrapped up in them, a bit lost, a bit like dragged under to the deepest, darkest depths of the oceans. But what I find with water signs is that can help them grow, that can teach them many things. So even if it's hard, even if that dive is hard, that swim is hard, uncovering things and even just understanding the subconscious, understanding occult, understanding astrology. It could be a bit deep and heavy and go on forever as a rabbit hole and all that. But I find that that's what some of them are meant to do. Like that's what they've incarnated here to do. They're supposed to go on that path. They're supposed to discover. They're supposed to go down that road, go on that journey, and it is important for them in this incarnation, in this lifetime, to learn those lessons. As heavy as it is on an emotional level, as heavy as that is what they're meant to do. That is what they've incarnated here to do. A lot of people don't realize because, from the past life, your memory might have been wiped, you don't remember anything. But then when you decide to come back around and you choose what family you want to incarnate in and all that, you're going to decide on like what paths you're gonna go on, what kind of zodiac sign you're gonna be born under. Like you decide all of that. You decide all of it. You determine all of it. And but when you come here, you're coming on a clean slate. Your memory's wiped. You're coming on a clean slate through the womb, right? Through the portal, and you need to start anew, start fresh. Some people, I don't know if you've seen the old episodes of Oprah and certain TV shows where they bring in these children, and these children have these birthmarks or they have these memories of their past life, and people are kind of like flabbergasted, like, what the hell, these children actually remember. So in some circumstances and cases, you can actually, some people, maybe you can, I don't know, but certain people can remember their past lives. They can get flashbacks of their past lives and their dreams, all kinds of stuff. So it's very, very interesting. I can obviously go on and on about this, but I believe I have covered a lot, and this video is really long. For the relationships, every person is an individual and has their own needs and wants. That's what I know and what I realize. So when it comes to the whole emotions and all that, or the moon playing a role in relationships, I mean, not everyone is compatible with each other. Not everyone is going to get along emotionally with each other. That's what I mean. Not everyone's going to get along emotionally with each other, because some people might need emotional reassurance, whereas other people might find that over excessive emotions are a nuisance, are something that just is overbearing, like is overwhelming and overbearing, or something that they find is just not even important. Like it really depends on the placement, right? And other people can see the value and importance of emotions, and can use emotions to their benefit and whatnot. So that's what I mean by a lot of people, when it comes to relationships, they need to determine and find out what their partner is like on an emotional level. If they want to do a kind of long-term relationship, a long-term partnership, it's important to know what your partner is like on an emotional level, and see if both of y'all are okay, like in terms of your emotional state, because that is important to a certain extent. Besides other things, that is one of the things that would be important just as much as communication, I'd say. What else? Acts of service. This kind of sounds like Virgo a bit. Acts of service, doing things for others, giving back to others. that's connected with the moon and the emotions, because it's all about the flow of energy, the ebbs and flows of the tide, the water on the beach, and emotions in relationships. I think a lot of water signs like to see what you're like on an emotional level, like, so they will say certain things to see what you're like spiritually, like how spiritually you're evolved. So they will say things to see how spiritually evolved and to get certain emotions out of you, because because it's through those emotions that you can find the genuine person, find the hidden person that sometimes people like to hide and suppress, because people hide and suppress their moon signs. So through those emotions, that's why water signs want to pull back the curtains. They want to see what you're really like on an emotional level. If they are intimate with you, they want to see what you're like on an emotional level, because then it's like they're seeing the real you. They're seeing the real version of you when they access those emotions. So I hope you enjoy this video. Feel free to check out more of my zodiac, astrology, and planet videos on my channel. If you like this kind of content, do subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.